how can teachers and teacher assistants benefit from these CDC guidelines update that they just recently did on the developmental milestones? Well, I'm gonna dive in here, go over a little bit about why these changes happened and what I'm most excited about, how teachers can get these milestones and use them in their classrooms, and especially use them in their conversations with parents. This is a great tool. It's going to empower our teachers, our teacher assistants to really open the gates in a comfortable way so that they can really communicate with parents. So the CDC updated their guidelines. There's a lot of commotion. I have another video going over a big overview and it goes into a lot of details, but here are the highlights. The highlights are the CDC noticed that 50% of kids under the age of 3 were not being identified as having delays. That is a huge number. With all the resources we have at our fingertips, that is not acceptable and it's not okay. So it prompted them to make these changes. So one of the changes they made is that before, apparently it had guidelines for what should 50% of the babies be doing at their 24-month checkup. 24 months, 50% of them should be doing this. But then there was another list of 75% of should be doing this. So what was happening was 50% of them should be doing this, and then the instructions were, well, try this, try that. If you would, the pediatrician would pick it up. A lot of times it would be, well, let's wait and see. Part of this initiative is act early. So we are wanting to do away with the let's wait and see. So now the only time that it's coming identified as these screenings and the milestones is when 75% of the kids have already, so 75% of the 2-year-olds can already do A, B, C, and D. So now the instructions are, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You go straight to your pediatrician and you get some resources to help your child bridge that gap, because now we have an identifiable gap. So it removed the let's wait and see. Another benefit is that it is made for people to have on their phones. It's not meant to be this super top secret worksheet checklist that only a pediatrician can do, that only a psychologist can do, that only a therapist can do. It's meant for the entire community to have, because, and this is very similar as to what's going on, from workload to caseload, really, like, let's help as many kids as we can. And how can we do that? Let's have as many people have this information at their fingertips so that we can all identify, hey, this should be happening by now. If it's on this list, that means 75% of the kids this age can do it. So let's see how we can fix this. So what I'm most excited about, well, I'm super excited about this whole app. And once I got all the correct information, and I understood the benefits of these changes, I was very excited. So what I want to share with teachers is a couple of examples of what is in the 5-year-old range. I have this app listed below this video, and I also have it on my website. Because I think it's so important for as many of us to have it as possible. So I'm really trying to share it whenever I can and kind of give a little explanation to get you as excited as I am so that you can use it. So let's dive into what the 5-year-olds can do. And as a teacher, teacher's assistant, babysitter, I want you to think, okay, well, how can I use this? I know when I go into classrooms and teachers and I do my professional development programs, and even when I sit at a table for an IEP meeting, a lot of times teachers always feel like, well, who am I to be saying this because I'm not the pediatrician? Well, now we have this lovely little tool at our fingertips, and it's meant for you. It's meant for you. It's meant for all of us to use. We're not diagnosing anything. We are going by a proven research-based milestones for all of us to start talking about it so that we can, this 50% number is way too big, right? And we know what happens with those gaps as they get older and older. If they're not filled in, the gaps get bigger and bigger, and the struggles are not only for that one child and that one family. I walk into classrooms and I have kids that have these big gaps and teachers that are like, how can I help? I have, communities that are figuring out how they can help. So we can really change the world if we start addressing these as early as possible. Okay, so here we go. 5-year-old, I'm just pulling some examples that I got a little excited about. So this is the 5-year-old checklist, all right? One of the things I love is it says 75% of 5-year-olds should be able to talk about time. They should be able to use the words yesterday, tomorrow, morning, evening. Why do I get so excited? You're not a speech therapist, Nicole. Well, I'm not a speech therapist, but occupational therapists are all about functioning, and kids should be able to talk and communicate. So I always look at that. However, executive functioning skills, time awareness, we know it starts building way early, and we know it messes kids up way down the line through college and adults. So this is a great marker. I think they had this under social development. Of course, they didn't have an executive functioning. But we know that kids should be talking about it. And now we have this beautiful data. 75% of kids should be able to have these conversations about what happened yesterday, what's going to happen tomorrow. If not, we need to get them help. It's no longer, let's wait and see. Another one that is definitely right up my OT alley, and definitely right up a school teacher's alley. I mean, you could have a 5-year-old that's in pre-K, right? You could have a 5-year-old in kindergarten. So 75% of kids at the age of 5 should be able to name some letters, should be able to write some letters. What does this mean? So 75% of the kids can do that, right? So if your 5-year-old cannot name some letters and cannot write some letters, we need to go get help, right? There's no more, maybe they're new in school, let's wait and see, because I don't have the exact information, but I'm sure when they pull to get the data, they have all kinds of kids from all different cultures and all parts of the country to come up with this data. So I'm sure it's pretty accurate. So no more waiting and seeing. We're gonna get them help right away. Okay, this one is a juicy one. So at 5 years old, 75% of the kids should be able to pay attention to something for 5 to 10 minutes. And they included not including screens. So we need to take anything having to do with the screen, YouTube, out of the equation and say, hey, can this 5-year-old attend to anything for 5 to 10 minutes? What does that mean? That's not for us to figure out right now or worry about right now. It's just meant for us to be like, hey, this is a milestone. 75% of 5-year-olds should be able to do this, and we're not seeing it in the classroom. So it's no longer, well, maybe, but no. We now have this tool and we need to use it. So it becomes very easy. Hey, mom and dad, these are the new guidelines that we're going to go by. Please, we need you to go get help. And now everybody should be very comfortable talking about it. So I love this tool. I want you guys to download it. I want you guys to get familiar with it. The podcast that I listened to, which had so much information on this, was OT Schoolhouse. And the person that did the podcast that they were interviewing was Kate Barlow. She is a CDC OT ambassador. And Jason from the OT Schoolhouse was the one who hosted her. So go ahead and watch that. I'm going to link all this below. I want you to watch the other video that I have about these guidelines because it digs a little bit deeper. And I want you to go ahead and get on my website, NicoleSantamaria.com, so you can get this app. All right, let me know in the comments below how you feel about this. If you're teachers, are you feeling icky that now you have this tool and that I just told you you should use it? Are you feeling empowered? I want you to feel empowered. And I want you to know, are you gonna use it? Are you gonna at least check it out? I hope so.